Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our Consistently Creative Crew Open Crop. And we are doing the This Life Simple Page Kit number 4. We've been doing these and showing the cut guide, and Kari has been graciously making instructions so that you can do it yourself. If you choose not to purchase the actual kit, you can use whatever paper you like. And so I'm Cheryl Bliss. Colleen Day is here with me, and Kari Schick as well. So we are going to get started on this. And as you know, the kit comes with everything you need, including this sheet of paper, which is the cut apart paper. So we can flip that over and start our cutting. And some people have been saying that once you realize where the cuts are, it's better to flip it over and cut it this way so that you can see where you're cutting on this side. So our first cut, if we flip the paper this way upside down, we'll be cutting at 4 inches. And so we're basically cutting this green part here, and that is 4 inches. So that's our first cut. We're going to end up cutting that one up. Now this one, the next cut is at 3.5 inches, I believe. Yes. This one's at 3.5, and this one won't matter because it's right in the middle of that paper. So line your sheet up at 3.5. And then this one does matter a little bit. So I'm going to flip it this way and do the next 3.5. And I can see it needs to go over a tiny little smidge. I'm going to bring down my cut guide and just make sure that is right on the line, which it appears to be. And then this one we're going to cut in half at 1/2 inch. And I think what I'm going to do is I have a little trick for small pieces. I get out my sticky blade or mat. There's a spot underneath your trimmer that can hold an extra mat, and I keep this one. See how it's all gooey and sticky? I'm gonna swap that out real quick and cut this in half. And so when I line this up, I'll be able to put that right there on the 1/2 inch mark. And it's pretty sticky from my repo that's on there previous times. And so you can see I lined that line right up there. So I'll be cutting that in half. And that won't move because it has old pieces of repo on it. And then it is a little gooey, so I will pop it out and put my good one back. So that's just a little tip. So these two are done. And then these we're going to cut, and we're going to make banners out of these. And I think I'm going to cut them on this side. So basically, I'm just going to cut them in the colored spots, but this one happens to be 4.5 inches. And if you are working with Kari's instructions, you're going to want to cut this one at 4.5 and the next one at 4. And the last one's going to end up being at 3.5. And then we're going to do that with this second piece, same thing. So I'm right here at the 4.5. Then 3, oops, then 4. And then that ends up being 3.5. We're going to end up cutting all these into banners. So I'm going to stack them up and I'll cut those into banners after I cut the green. And the green piece is photo mats, and we're going to cut those at 4x4. So they were, if this was already 4 inches wide, and now we're just cutting it at 4 again and 4. So we're going to end up with 3 4x4 pieces with the green. And now on these, I suppose we could cut them all at the same time, but I won't do that. I'll just cut each one. I'm just going to line these up. And we're just going to be cutting on the line that's already on there. If you're just using your own paper and not the kit, you could fold this at the center. I'll show that in a second, but since I have the line on here, it's real easy to get the same cut. When you're going to do one of these yourself without the lines, you just fold your piece of paper and then you cut from corner to, however, I'm going to measure that for you. I think it looks like about a half an inch. It's 3/4 of an inch. So 3/4 of an inch up there if you wanted to be precise and mark it. So this is piece 5 and piece 8 here. I'm just going to go ahead and cut a little banner out of these. And then 4 and 7, a little gray stripe. I like that these kits are very easy and they come with everything you need and they look great when you're done. So we'll go ahead and get our base papers. And they're a little bit like fast to fab papers because they have design on them already. And we can just go ahead and take our grass sticker off the bottom. And the way they have it shown on the directions, it just is going right across the bottom of the sheet. So we'll just go ahead and attach that right on there. Does anybody else have the kit and creating with me? You know, we have, this is our open crop time also. So we have some ladies that are just working on their own thing, which is fine. There's that. Just adds a little dimension to the bottom and a little more interest. It's sort of a forest green. And the green that's, you know, the grass is kind of sort of like just grass green, which is nice. I haven't printed my Easter pictures. So when I go to do the actual layout, I'll just be putting down repo and so I can move mine around when I get there. So the way we have the instructions here is they're starting on the outside edges with the sort of, I don't know. I don't even know if we would call that gray. Gray stripe, maybe? Sort of grayish beige. These are on the inside. And then the pink. And this looks like they put these little ones down first. And I don't know as it matters which way it goes, but I think I'm going to do mine. I have the dark green on the left, and I'm going to put the dark green on the left on both of them. So I'm just going to get out my little this, and I'll use repo for that. Times when I put my repo down, I'll just put 2 pieces next to one another so I don't waste it. Sort of tee them up at the same time. And I'm just going to put this right across the top. I wonder if they put their banner, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put my banners down first, and then I'm going to put that on top of it, I think. Let me look at if I can see. Doesn't really say. And here pieces. What really say? Just put it on however you want. I'm going to put my pieces down and then put that over it. Just because I like to have a little more room for my photos. So I'm going to turn all of these over. And I'm going to use repo in case I end up wanting to move them around a little. There we go. So the way these come out is there's a little bit of room on each side on the three of them. So I'm going to start them about a ½ an inch over, I think. I'm just going to put them right up at the top. And it looks like they just butted them next to one another. It doesn't look like they're overlapping. Let's see how it works out. Oh, I could have went a little more than a ½ an inch. I think I'm going to go 3/4 of an inch. I can go 3/4 on each side. All right. Banners. We should have looked when we started the recording to see how long this takes, because I think they go together pretty quick. So if I do the same on this side and start at 3/4, good to go. Yep. So cute. All right, now I'm going to put these on right over it. When you did the instructions, Kari, do you know if you went, how you ended up doing it?
Which part? That border on
Did you
top?
put it over or did you butt them up?
I butted them up.
Okay. So it could be just personal preference, whatever works for you. So honestly, that is layout. Like so, probably would center that a little bit out there. If I'm following the layout on the instructions, it's basically like that. And then we are putting our photos. So there are 3 4x6 photos and then 3 3.5 by 3.5 on these 4-inch mats. So that's how they do it. And putting the stickers on up here and some little sticker clusters. So I think what we can do, what are your thoughts, ladies? I could do a little embellishing here, or we can pause and I can do the embellishing off camera. I do just want to point out these little adorable, these are advisor exclusives. And your advisor can get these for you. How cute is this? This is a little shaker bunny. So cute. And that says Happy Easter. Really cute. And then of course there's the stickers all over on here. So what do you think?
You're doing it off camera. We can pause it.
Okay. Yeah, and honestly, I feel like depending on your photos, you could put those anywhere or whatever works for you. So anyway, so there is our little layout number, was it 4? Yep, page kit number 4. Page kit number 5 is available right now. It just came out this week and it's really pretty with spring colors and could be used for Mother's Day and spring photos and flower photos. So anyway, I really like that one. And these are $5.50 and it's $2 for the little exclusive extras. The one that's coming out, the one that just came out, the little exclusive piece is a watering can with flowers. So that was really cute too. I think Hi, everybody. We're back and we put some fun little things on our layout here. And I have just put down these little where hopefully I'm going to be putting my photos. I added my embellishments and I bumped them up on foam squares so that I can slide my photos under. And just made some little clusters with the fun little stickers that were on here. And I'll have a few more. So when I actually get my photos on there, I'll be able to finish that up. But anyway, how cute is that? And Kari wants to share the digital version of creating. So take it away, Kari.
Right, thanks. I'll share my screen. So first I'll share the handout that we posted on our Facebook group, Consistently Creative Croppers. So this is the page kit number 4 that Cheryl put together and the sample that Creative Memories had put together. And then I put in here the cutting instructions so you know what size each piece is, which Cheryl obviously used when she was doing this traditionally, but it was cutting on the line, so that's really easy. And this is how it is all assembled. So I have the 3 photos that are 4x4 labeled, 2 photos that are 4x6, and 1 that is 6x4. And I think, oh no, this is right. And then all the different banners. Actually, it looks like this photo dimensions is wrong. So I will fix that and repost it. But let me go on to the page. So what we ended up with was we had a green piece that was on the bottom. That was our grass. And I ended up just using this as a shape. So I use this as a rectangle. I'm going to change it to a green color so we know that it was kind of the grass. And I'm going to make that 12 by 4.5 and put that on the page. And if you want, you can go ahead and do some shape cutting and make some grass here or put some kind of border on it. But I was just keeping it simple. So the next thing I need is this little thin strip that's up at the top. So that one again is another 12-inch wide strip, and it was 1/2 inch. I'm just going to make this another color so that we have it another color. And it's all the way at the top. And then we've got our 3 banners that I'm going to go ahead and do at the same time. So they were all 3.5 inches in width, but they were different heights. So I'm going to change the color. So it was 3.5 inches in width. And the tallest one was 4.5 inches. I'm just going to put that there. And I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste another one. And I'm going to make this one 4 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and fill this with a different color. You can kind of see that I used all these colors before. And I'm going to copy this one and I'm going to make the last one. And this last one was 3.5 inches tall. So you can do that. And again, I'm going to fill this with a different color. All right. So now we've got to make banner cuts. And so there's a couple of ways of doing this digitally. And whatever way works for you is what you should do. But one way that I think is pretty easy to take this is to take this and then cut the triangle off of the bottom. So I've got this shape selected and I can cut it, and I'm going to go ahead and select cut cutters and shape. And you can see I've got the triangle selected. And since I know this piece was 3.5 inches wide, I can just select it and make it 3.5 inches wide. And then line it right up. And then I can make this cut as thin as I want it on that banner. And I kind of think that probably looks good. So when I'm going to select what I'm doing here, cut, keep the unshaded area, which is what I want to keep. And I'm going to go ahead and cut. So I'm going to just do that for the other ones. And again, I have to make it a 3.5 inch wide one, triangle. And then I can slide it right to the bottom, and I can select it to be the depth that I want of that cut. So I'm going to keep the unshaded area again. And then one last time doing the same thing. And I found that this, doing the triangle here, was what I thought was one of the easiest ways of doing it. So, all right, and keep the unshaded area. All right, so I've got almost the basis for this page. And then I am going to go ahead and I've got 2 photo mats that I want to put on this page that were 4x4. So I'm going to put those on. And I'm just going to do that by copying and pasting. And then I've got my photos. So I'm going to go ahead and insert my photo. This was, I believe, a 3.5 by 3.5 inch, not a 1/2 inch. And I want that centered here, so I can select both of them and center that up. I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste that and then align those. Then there was one more photo, and this was a 4 by 6 inch. I believe they lined up the bottom, but you can do it however it works best for you. I'm going to go ahead. There we go. Now, since when I was looking at this layout, I'm going to put the sample back down here on my screen, which hopefully you can see. This layout is pretty much a mirror image of itself from the right to the left side. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take what I already have and use that to create my second page. And instead of creating it and copying it, I'm going to say to insert a mirror image of the page. So then when I come in to the other page, I'm actually just going to flip them. When I go to do the right page, I only have to make a couple of things that are different. There was this 3.5 inch photo. There wasn't another mat here. And this photo was 6x4. And that is pretty much the layout. So it's pretty quick and pretty easy. And I am going to spend a little bit of time getting some photos in here and getting some papers. But I'm going to save this and I'll show you what the 2-page spread looks like. So this is pretty much just what it looks like. And then I can go in and put my photos in, add a title, whatever, but I've got the basis of that layout. You can kind of see here's the layout. We've got the strip across the top, the 3 banners across the top, paper. We've got 3 photos on each, the left and the right hand side. But again, there's actually a lot of empty space here. So you have a lot of room to add more things, be it embellishments or photos. So hopefully a couple of those tips with cutting the banner cuts using triangles, as well as doing the mirror image of the second page, is helpful to you.
Neat.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Thanks.
So why don't we pause the recording just in case there's anything else?
Okay, great.